One of the biggest mistakes that I've seen people in their 50s, 60s, etc. make is that they don't change a viewpoint. They care more about being right than understanding the truth. And one of the biggest edges that I have right now is being so young and talking to people so wise and intelligent and have been so successful is most of these people are so humble and carry no ego in their viewpoints. Because once you get to a certain level of understanding for any subject, you realize that there's so much more that you will never be able to know. And it's a very weird feeling because when you start to understand something, you think that you know everything. But once you start to understand a lot about something, you realize that there's more than you will ever be able to grasp about that subject. Think about it. I mean, there's people who on the left or right or capitalist or socialist or Keynesian or Austrian economist, the people, they have one viewpoint that they grip onto with their dear life and they can never deviate from that viewpoint. No matter what you say, all they do is raise their voice that it doesn't matter what the truth is because whatever their opinion is tied to their identity, and their identity can never change. I'm sure everybody knows somebody that's either on the right or on the left that they think that their opinion is almighty and no other truth matters. They are not open to hearing a friendly discussion. If it is, it turns into a wild debate. It is a very weird phenomenon that people tie their personal identity onto political views or external factors, where I think that is a very strange thing to have because then you are forced to go with the group. There's no way to deviate from the mean. And so I'm so happy that I figured this out when I'm young because it is so hard to change your viewpoints on something once you've expressed it so many times. It really is a difficult thing to look yourself in the mirror and come to the realization that you were wrong about something. I used to be a very proud atheist. When I was in high school, I thought that that was a cool thing because thought that I could back it up with quote unquote science. And now I'm the complete opposite. And because I can now look at things agnostically and just searching for the overarching truth instead of trying to be right, that I think I can look at things, or I am trying to have a better grasp of looking at things without ego. And it obviously still happens because we are humans and we are hardwired this way, but it is a very important skill set that I'm trying to teach myself and learn to the highest possible degree, to not be tied to any certain viewpoint, to try and understand all viewpoints and come to the best realization of what I think truth is. And sometimes that will be a fluid truth where it changes over time as my viewpoints develop, which is why I'm so thankful that I'm not just locked in on one viewpoint. Because you can think, oh, if you're on the left or right, sure. But it's actually like that for business. It's how you manage employees. It's how you try a certain task. If you think that you are supposed to do this task X way and you continue to do it that way, what if there's some new advancements in technology and that would make you be able to do that X thing much more efficiently, much quicker, much better? If you are tied your identity, or this is not something that you would tie your identity to, but if you have such a strong will viewpoint that if you do it this way, you have to continue to do it this way, then you will not be able to adapt to the times. And I'm sure everyone's had a boss that has made them do something that you thought you could do more efficiently. But they said, do it this way. That's what the school system, and why I hate it so much, teaches you to do. There is only one way to do it, and just follow in a straight line. I'll tell you what to do. You produce the X output. There's no room for any other creative solution because we are the all almighty and we know how to solve everything. Well, if that's the way you think, when there is this new technology or new way of doing things, you are not going to be able to adapt to it. Like AI right now. AI is taking my business from quite literally revolutionizing it to where each person working is being able to produce the output of 10, 15 people in hours. It is unlike anything that I've ever seen. And there's a lot of people that I know that are a little bit older and saying, I hate AI. I agree with you. I hate it too. But it doesn't mean you can't adapt or you shouldn't adapt to the times because there's massive amounts of value that can be created from it. So the only thing that drives me crazy, and I know that I'm a victim of this, I just obviously don't know where I'm a victim of this or I would not be doing it. But try to realize that the goal is to search for truth and not to being right. You don't gain anything from convincing someone else that you were right. It doesn't give you more dollars in your bank account or more time. It doesn't do anything. But a lot of people tie their ego to always being right as opposed to trying to understand the truth. It's very rare that you have a conversation with someone, and let's say you know that you are right. Deep down, you know that that is the fundamental truth, and let's say objectively it is. It is very rare, even if you are spewing objective truth, that you can convince somebody who does not want to be convinced that you have the truth and they don't. That's a remarkably challenging task to do. And I don't know what it takes for somebody who builds their identity upon, let's say, a false belief or any belief to change that belief. It's very, very difficult if you're not actively thinking of it. That would be a very challenging thing to do. To look yourself in the mirror, to realize that you've been wrong for all of these years and that now you should change your viewpoint, especially if it's something as big as political views. You don't meet too many people who, let's say, start as X political view and change to Y political view. I would like to see what other